Full time in Kazan. It is France 2, Australia 1.
Yes, our thanks to David Bashir and Craig Moore in the commentary box there. And coming into this match, very few had given Australia a chance against the most expensive side at this tournament. And you could almost be forgiven for thinking that, given that forwards duo Mbappe and Dembele alone are worth a combined 301 million euros. But the beauty of football is this, that it's not always about dollars and cents. And Foz, irrespective of this scoreline, which is at this moment hard to take, given a few controversial moments which we'll discuss, Australia fought tremendously hard, and it would be fair to say that they looked like the better side at times.
I think once we got ourselves back into the game, we had a nice little period there. And you could see at 1-1 what we've been talking about with the French, and this is their weakness. Is the frustration that they're having, and all of a sudden, despite the level of quality of player, their passes are going astray. You saw Fekir, a through pass go out. You saw Pogba really starting to struggle, and that's what happens with this French team. And they talked about them prior to how they lack leadership. I thought we saw it tonight. Nevertheless, they were able to take the 3 points, and I think Deschamps can consider himself fortunate. I've got to say, I'm still not convinced about the penalty against Australia. I thought I saw a replay that showed that Risdon had touched the ball. The ball was hit, I thought it was hit against Griezmann and then was rolling through anyway. So the follow through on Griezmann I thought was immaterial, and in fact, so confident I was surprised that they went to the VAR. So I must have seen it completely differently to everyone else. Nevertheless, the guys fought back extremely quickly. You can see here now in the pictures, Millet doing exactly the right thing, giving them the right messages. Okay, guys, we went close. You can see what can happen. Let's just step back before this game, and we can talk about style of play and how many chances we conceded later. People thought that a €1 billion team is unbeatable. Australia can do nothing. I'm talking about many people around the world, but what's most important is people back home in Australia is what we believe and what we transmit to the players and what we think we're capable of doing. That's all that's important. And they demonstrated again that it doesn't matter, that the biggest teams in the world can lose.
They are infallible.
Everyone is in football. That's the beauty of the game. If it wasn't that way, this French team would be cleaning up everything, or Brazil would win every World Cup. It doesn't happen. So, you know, I said before that this is a journey for us about 20 years from now when we believe and we dream we can win the World Cup. What's the lesson out of today is that we can disregard the reputations. Just because they look fantastic on paper and they've got a good history, it doesn't mean anything. When Australia comes to take anyone on, the result is always in the balance.
Did you feel we took them on today, Foz?
No, not in a tactical sense. As I said, the style of play is very, very different. And in my personal view, what happens is you end up doing a lot of defending, you concede a lot of shots. I mean, I think in the first 10 or 15 minutes, Matty conceded more chances and made more saves. I was more involved than any keeper so far in the tournament. I've watched a lot of football over a very long period of time now on SBS, and what we always say at the highest level in Champions League and so on, that pressure eventually will tell. However, it was a marvellous effort to get back into the game. Millet's penalty was our first shot on target, and I think our only shot on target in the game. So, you know, all of those discussions, I think, can wait till after the World Cup. This is, again, another learning experience for us. I think the big one for me is around this concept that Australia has no chance. I never believe it. I think we can always take these teams on. We have in history. We talked about Argentina in '88. We have to believe in ourselves, and I thought the guys defended really well. I thought Trent Sainsbury was magnificent. Aaron Moy really grew into the game, was fantastic. I would have liked to see Daniel Arzani a little bit more time. I think perhaps, you know, once we went behind, something could have been changed. Deschamps, I think there'll be questions on him because, look, because they didn't press us in the first half and they sat and let us play and build our way into the game, I thought he actually did a fantastic job for Australia, really. The way we're playing right now, If they went and pressed us, and I think some of the other teams might, certainly Peru will, it'd be interesting to see what the difference is in the game. So there'll be question marks around him, but he did bring Giroud on and made a big difference.
Huge.
The guys were so compact and able to defend that Griezmann was just not in the game, and it's another amazing player, but he had no space to operate. We defended there around the box really well, in the air strongly, and he had to take him off. I thought he waited probably too long, but once Giroud come on, he started to hold things up, and you saw the difference with Pogba, someone to play off.
He finally had an outlet for us.
He does. Play forward, join in, and all of a sudden, that's the problem. Now, we talk about luck, but the thing is, when the more chances and shots that you concede in a game, the more chance, obviously, there is for a deflection to happen. So, yes, the margins are extremely small, and we went really close. The positive out of the game is the goal difference. So, you know, a 2-1 loss means, let's hope that France now are stung by this, because in the second half they really lost their way there. They were frustrated, and it didn't look like a team capable of going anywhere near winning the World Cup. So, and that's largely credit to Australia. But, you know, the issue for them is, in the next few games, does that sting them now? I think the French press will really get onto them, and that means in the next 2 games, let's hope they give their best, let's hope they perform brilliantly, and with respect to our other group opponents, let's hope they go and flog them, and that goal difference, despite having lost, like the last couple of World Cups, it becomes really important. I'm talking about 2010, which was negative for us, and 2006, which worked in our favour.